So I wanted to make sure I went over those with you. Now, 7, 8, and 9. People were a little confused here. Here's the thing. It just says draw a function that satisfies the given domain and range. So you can get very creative here. Now for the domain, right? It's telling me that I have to go to -4 here. Okay, so the furthest possible value has to be at -4. Alright, so I can put a dot. Really doesn't matter where on my y-axis. It just has to be somewhere where -4 is going to be my input. So it could be anywhere in that red line I just drew. So I'll put a dot right here for now. So that's telling me what my minimum would have to be. Telling me my maximum would have to be +3. So my function would have to start here, and it would end somewhere around here. So I'm gonna put a dot here. Again, I can use anything on this line. So that is the start point and end point on my x-axis. Now for my range, again, I got some freedom. I like having a little bit of freedom here. It's telling me my lowest value has to be on the x-axis, which would have to be 0. Uh-oh, that's okay. I can fix this. Not a big deal. That means I have to take this one, bring it up a little bit. Okay, so I could bring it up because the y and the negatives. Gotta have a y value. My lowest y value can only be 0. So now for, let's see, it's telling me my maximum would have to be at 2. So that means it has to end somewhere at 2. My highest value has to be somewhere at 2. So it has to be somewhere along this line. So I can just put it right here. Why not, right? Okay, so now I'm paying attention. I got braces, braces. Oh, I got a parenthesis right here. Okay, so I'm going to have to find a way to make that work. That's alright. Since it's on my x-axis, I can just make that open parenthesis. And now it really doesn't matter what I do with my line as long as my lowest point is right here, my highest point is right here. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to go like this, like that. Yeah, there we go. Curve it up a bit, right? Yeah, why not? And then boom. I could do all sorts of things. I did something that looks like that. I could also... Oh, that's right, I can fix that. Let's see. I'm going to go with, let's see, -4 has to have an open dot. But I hope you get the idea that I could have a little bit of freedom. I could go curved. Why not? I could go curved like that. A little bit of fun here, right? You don't have, again, you have a lot of freedom with this. I could go whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, there we go. And then right there. Because my highest and lowest points still are the same. So my highest is still 2. My lowest is still 0. And my minimum is still all the way over here. So basically you just got to establish where your minimum and your maximum is, and then just fill in the blanks. Again, you have a lot of freedom with this. Let's take a look at 8 here. So, alright, it's telling me that for my domain and range, my minimum has to be -2 and -2. What I'm going to do this time, they both have brackets, you'll see. I'm going to use 1 point here to establish that whole thing. So, I'm going to go with -2, -2. Boom. Solid dot. That's going to be my lowest value, which means none of my points can go below this. It means none of my points can go to the left of this either. So I gotta keep it within the window. And now it's telling me for my maximum has to be +2 and +2 as well. So you know what? What the heck? I'm just gonna put it right here. If I wanted to, I could just make this my function. Boom, there we go. Because now I've got my lowest value is -2 right here. My highest value is +2. For my domain, my point furthest to the left, -2. My point furthest to the right, -2. But I can have a little bit of fun with this too. I could go like that if I want to. Whoop, whoop, done. Still a function, right? Though it say I had to have a straight line. I could go like this. I could go like that. I could go like that. Boom. There you go. Still a function. Alright, now for number 9. Alright, this one gives us a little bit of a union here, but that's okay. We can handle that. It's giving me a domain. So that means that it's going to start and end. That's the thing we want to take note of. So that means for our domain, it's going to start at -3, end at 0. That's going to begin again at 1. And then it's going to end again at 4. So we're going to have a gap. I'll even color in that gap. It's going to be right... Oop, too thick. It's alright. So we're going to go with a gap right here. That means I'm going to have a gap right here. So I can't have anything go through that area I just highlighted. Okay, so function's going to have to start there. Now my range, it's only giving me one number, -3. Which means that nothing can go above or below -3 here. So let's see. -3. That's both my minimum and my maximum. So nothing can go above it. Guess what? This would be pretty straightforward. Now I got parentheses here, parentheses, which means I'm going to have to go with, let's see, they're telling me this would have to be open, and my range would have to be closed. So we have a couple ways we can approach this here. I'm going to go by doing this. This needs to be open, so I'll do this, and then I'll make this closed. There we go. But, they're telling me that has to be open as well. So what I'm going to do? Boom. Looks like I could have more than one point. So, what I did here was I counted for my parentheses by making open points, just like that. You know, the open circles. So that would count for these open circles here for my domain. And my brackets here for the range, I counted for that by making a solid dot. Okay, so again, I'm just going to have to do the same thing. Again, they want these open points. Okay. Those parentheses are telling me my points have to be open. Now, I already have a solid dot here to account for that range, but I can put another one in here too. So this is just one way I could have written it. It's just, again, you have a lot of freedom with these, but the thing to remember is, since they have that union here, that means there's going to be a gap between 0 and 1, which is why I colored in right there. So remember, domain means going on your x-axis, just like so. Range means going up and down. So if they're telling you where your domain is, take that lowest value, plot it. Take the highest value, plot it somewhere. They're giving you the minimum for your y, plot it somewhere. Maximum, plot it somewhere. And then you can just fill in the blanks. The big goal, though, I'd say coming from this, is that you can do examples like 1, 2, and 3. And even, let's take a look at number 6. Number 6 is a good one. All right. We'll do number 6. So let's take a look at the domain again. Now, we don't have any gaps, so it's going to be one big contiguous thing. So for my domain, again, all I care about is the x-axis. Where does it start and where does it end on the x-axis? So I look, and I see that, okay, here's my first point where it starts, and the end has an arrow. So if the end has an arrow, that means it's going to be infinity. So I'm going to put infinity here. I know it's going to end at infinity. Now my minimum value would be -4, and since I have a solid dot, it's going to give me a bracket to cover my domain. Now for my range, remember, I'm concerned with my y-axis here. So, let's see, what is the lowest point on my y-axis? If I look, it'd be right here is where it gets the lowest. It's also right here. It happens a couple of times. Now, since there isn't a dot there, we're not going to draw one in. We're just going to assume that it would be open. Again, that's why I want you guys to watch this video, so that way we can cover that. So I'm going to put -2 here. Because you notice I circled it, I made an open dot. Now for my maximum, I look at my highest value, it'd be right here. This looks pretty high, but right here would be higher. Again, I don't have a dot, so you notice how I circled it using an open circle? That's the assumption we're going to use. We're going to use that open circle. So that'll give me +2. And since it's open, I'm going to make it parentheses. So I wanted to take an opportunity to go through this because, as I said, I got some questions. And I don't want you guys to overthink it. So remember, when we're just talking about the domain, we're looking at the x-axis. Range is just the y-axis. Look for your minimum and maximum. That's how you apply it using interval notation. I will post the rest of the answers shortly for 4 and 5. So, best of luck with this.